Don't make these mistakes when starting your Airbnb arbitrage business. By the way, number 4 and 5 are super important, so make sure you guys stick around. But let's go over the top 5 pitfalls that you need to avoid when starting this business with this specific strategy. Number 1 is the challenges with regulation of short-term rentals. And here's the thing. Over the years, there's a lot of people that have thrown parties at these Airbnb properties. And when people throw parties, they take up all the parking. There's more wear and tear to the property itself. And of course, it disrupts the neighborhood and it causes a lot of complaints to the city. And that is why there is a lot of regulation and certain limitations in various cities across the US. And so when you are looking at getting into the Airbnb arbitrage business, the first thing you should do is verify if you can get a permit in the first place. Because again, it doesn't matter if the property looks like it can make thousands of dollars a month in cash flow if you can't operate in that area, period. So my recommendation is contact the local building department of the city that you want to launch in and ask them, hey, what is your short-term rental ordinance? And they're going to tell you if you can get a permit, how long it takes, what it costs, and all the details. And if you cannot get a permit or they're not allowed, my recommendation is go to the next best city where there's a lot of opportunity and you can get a permit because you don't want your business to be short-lived. Number 2 is to develop a contingency plan in the event of cancellations, negative reviews, or if there's any damage to the property. So let's talk about it. As far as damage goes, the good thing is we have access to the guest's credit card up until 14 days after they check out. And just like when you check into a hotel, right, they take your credit card for incidentals, and if you create any type of damage, they're going to charge your credit card for those damages. Airbnb also holds on to their credit card in the event. Now, you do want to make sure that you submit claims before the next guest checks in. So if you had a guest that checked out today and they made a hole in the wall and broke a window for some reason, you don't want to wait until after the next guest checks out. You want to submit the claim before this next guest checks in. This way it makes it very clear as to who caused the damage. And Airbnb is really good about these situations. In most cases, they will be able to collect the damage costs from the guest, so that way you can make those repairs and so that it doesn't come out of your pocket. And I would say in my 6 years of operating short-term rentals since 2017, there have been a few scenarios where Airbnb was unable to collect on their behalf, but Airbnb utilized their insurance policy to cover those damages. Now, you do have to make sure you have enough proof to prove that it was them and what those damages were. As far as cancellations, my recommendation is to use the strict policy that is provided as an option. That means that if somebody makes a reservation and they cancel it in 3 weeks, and even if the reservation is 2 months from now, they will lose 50% of what they paid. And if they cancel inside of a 7-day period from the check-in date, they lose everything. I prefer this cancellation because I don't want somebody to book my property having a backdoor exit, like, oh, I'm going to book this property, they got a flexible cancellation policy, and in the event we don't go anymore, we'll just cancel it, because if they cancel a week before or 2 weeks before, it's unlikely that you're going to get a full price booking for those same dates. As far as negative reviews, you want to make sure that you provide a great experience, your property is super clean, have great communication, and if there's ever any type of issues, it really comes down to your customer service. If you handle these things in a timely manner, guests are pretty good about giving you a 5-star review anyway, even if there was a hiccup, because of how soon you handled the situation. Now, the bad thing is guests are allowed to say whatever they want about their experience at your property, and technically they could even lie. They could say, you know what, the property is not what it looks like, I didn't have a good experience, the AC didn't work, and as long as the guests are not being vulgar or making any threats, they're allowed to say whatever they want. So from time to time, you may have a review that you disagree with, and honestly, you want to make sure that you communicate with your guests before they check out and say something along the lines of this. Hey guest, if you had an experience that was less than a 5-star experience, please let me know so I can have an opportunity to make it right. And then of course you maybe can give them a partial refund on the cleaning. Maybe you refund the entire cleaning fee. If they were there for 5 nights, maybe you can give them 1 night's credit. There's a lot of ways to come to a solution that creates a win-win situation, but you want to make sure you only create 5-star experiences. You want to make sure you get and maintain that superhost status, because superhosts definitely make more money than non-superhost. The next thing is screening guests in order to minimize any challenges that you could have. And the good thing is Airbnb has really gotten really good at finding any guests that are looking to throw a party or that really shouldn't be booking your property. So every so often I get a notification that says, hey, we blocked this person from booking your property. And Airbnb won't tell you why, but you just got to trust that they're doing their job from a security perspective. And so they do all that screening, they do background checks. And nowadays, Airbnb doesn't let people who are under 25 even book your property, because those are typically the people who are trying to book parties. Now let's talk about disputes. Whenever a guest creates some type of damage, or maybe they left the property, very dirty, and you're going to charge them an additional cleaning fee or something along those lines, you want to make sure you submit a claim. And then typically the process goes like this. You submit the claim, and then there's about 3 days where Airbnb gives you those 3 days so that you and the guest can come to a solution that works for everyone. And if you are unable to come to a solution, then you can get Airbnb's resolution department involved by clicking a button in the resolution center, and then somebody will come and mediate the process and help create a win-win situation. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you guys hit the like button, because it truly helps this video get more eyeballs, and you guys can help me help more people with Airbnb arbitrage. And number 5 is you want to make sure you stay up to date with the regulations and local laws in your city. If you are looking to operate in a gray area, right? A gray area is a city where they're technically not issuing permits, so you could do it, but there isn't really a regulation in place. In fact, this is how most cities were when I started in 2017 operating my Airbnb business. A lot of cities didn't have a regulation. The challenge today is that what if they put a regulation in 6 months or in a year? So my recommendation is only launch in cities where you can get a permit, because whenever there's already a regulation in place and they're issuing permits, when and if they make updates or modifications to the regulation, they are typically very minor and not a total new regulation that's going to prohibit you from operating. That typically happens again when it's a gray area, no regulation, and then they implement something that may not work in your favor. That being said, guys, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and the notification button, so this way you get notified every time I upload a video. Make sure you guys check out the links down below and book a call with my team and see if we can help you in our mentorship program, help you build a 6-figure Airbnb business in the next 90 days or less without owning real estate. So check out those links and check out one of my other videos here before you guys go anywhere. Peace.